Good morning, Delaware. You know, someday I want like a live band in here to play our intro song.
I mean, it'd be tight, but we could do
We're
it.
We're going to need some clarinets. We're going to need some horns.
I could sing along. I'm completely tone deaf, but I would love to be a part of this. Or give me a tambourine. You might want to bring the tambourine.
Yeah, I think that'd be a whole lot of fun.
You got it.
I also have no rhythm. So.
Well, happy Friday, Delaware. You are listening to Off the Shelf, your library radio show for the Delaware County District Library. I'm Nicole Fowles with my co-host Molly Meyers Labadie.
Good morning, everybody.
And we are joined in the studio today with our guest, Kadra Ahmed.
Hello, everyone.
Kadra is our Circulation Supervisor at the up-and-coming Liberty Branch Library to be opened in like 8 days.
Yes.
9 days.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I can't even believe it.
It's pretty amazing. And Gage on the board. Good morning, Gage.
Good morning, ladies.
We were talking before we came on air. Happy St. Patrick's Day. We all have our shades of green on. Although with
Terrifying.
the redhead over there, I don't know if I see any
I
green.
know.
No green.
It looks like
Can
you're
you get
getting
out of
pinched.
it because he's a
Anything
redhead?
else?
I know.
Yeah.
Oh,
does that
Gage, do
count?
you need my scarf? Like, what do
So
we
wait,
do
so-
to protect you?
So if I'm a redhead, does that count? Like,
I don't know, but it should.
I don't know the
maybe.
rules.
My husband's a redhead. I'll have to check in.
Check in with the redheads of the world.
Like, how are you
They have a
guys
secret
doing
society,
today?
So.
I didn't even think it didn't even feel like St. Patrick's Day. I didn't even think. Just
Yeah.
woke up and said, "Oh."
We've
I
got
never miss it.
We've got all our shades of green on. Molly has every shade of green on. Kadra has some beautiful jewel tones.
Yes.
I go with like a hunter kind of green. Yeah.
It's a terrifying day, so you need to wear all the greens. So, fun fact, when I went to Chesapeake High School, or elementary and junior high, if your mom forgot to tell you it was St. Patrick's Day and put you in green, then you got pinched. And I had bruises everywhere a couple years. So I never miss green. I start talking about it about 2 months before. And what I'm going to wear.
January.
And
You have
so
a prep plan.
I do. And then just in case I had a jacket on, I've got earrings so that you can see them even if you can't see that I'm wearing a green dress.
You have a
and
you have a headscarf
a
on too.
headband,
Yeah.
a scarf. I've got a ring and a bracelet, which you do argue my bracelet a little bit, I know. But I'm prepared for this.
Yes, you are. You are the most ready. I was the least ready.
But you made it.
I did make it. I think I have literally like 2 green pieces in my entire closet. So
You should be safe.
I should be safe. And you know, I was saying like my hair is auburn, so I don't really get lumped into the redhead society. But yeah, so I don't get a lot of. But people still, you would think like I would have more green because people are always like, "Well, you're Irish, right?" And I'm like, "No." I don't know.
Yeah. My husband's Scot-Irish, which he explained to me means they stopped in Ireland on their way to America.
I like that.
So
Yeah. Cool. Well, other than I don't have any St. Patrick's Day books today. Maybe either
No.
of you. No,
I do not.
Well, we're still going to talk books anyway.
we did fail that
Yeah.
one.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. Now we're going to talk about books that have nothing to do with it.
I'm not even going to talk about a book.
All right, well, tell us all about it, Molly.
Well, I'm going to talk about a TV show that we hinted at when we had Beanbag Books, our amazing sponsor, in.
Uh-huh.
And I looked it up. You have to reserve the DVDs. So
Okay.
we're going to go old school on this one, but
Sure.
the system has them. How I watched it in the first place. It's a TV show from Britain called Black Books. It is that dark British humor that we all love, set in a bookstore. The owner of the bookstore likes to smoke, drink, and he really hates all people. So, you know, the show starts out and he's being rude to every customer there. Eventually gets a bullhorn and a broom and just sweeps them out of the entire bookstore.
Yeah.
You meet his best friend who owns a nifty gifty gift shop next door. They've known each other since college. You know, she's probably the only one that keeps him sane, but she's got her quirks too. And then you meet an accountant who ends up coming in trying to save Black Books because when you're always scaring your customers, it's really hard to keep a bookstore open.
People might not purchase things.
Yeah.
But you start kind of falling in love with this grumpy old guy because you are annoyed at the man who comes in and is like, are these issues of Dickens leather bound? He doesn't even call them Dickens. Are those books leather bound? And that annoys him because it needs to match my couch. So the owner of the shop, of course, is immediately like, just get out. Is your money leather bound? Because
Right.
my wallet is, and it will only accept leather bound money. Get out of my shop. And he just yells that at everyone throughout the whole show. It is definitely for the people who like British humor. If you don't like British humor, you're not going to like this show. But it is absolutely hilarious. All the bad decisions that you think for that moment in the back of your head, should I do that bad thing that I know is going to not be good for me? They do all of them every day on this show, all the time.
How many seasons do we know?
This is why I pulled this up. There are 3 seasons.
Oh, okay.
So they call them series in Britain.
Okay.
And this was in the early 2000s. So you're going to go back. Style is back in the early 2000s.
Oh, nice.
So like 2001 through 2004, I think this was on the air. So it's a little fun throwback, the music, the fashion, the, you know, pop culture references going on. But it is just a laugh a minute. My husband and I, when we watch it, we still quote things from it today. We still enjoy it. It's one of those that just has stuck with us. I mean, we both work in libraries, and he worked in comics too. So, you know, that experience of working with people with books.
Yeah.
The thing they don't get is what I think is most of the time in the library, which is how wonderful our patrons are, how much fun it is to talk about your favorite books.
But we also can't push them out with a broom.
We can't. We won't. Our patrons don't make me want to.
No.
Our patrons
pretty
are
great.
They're pretty
Pretty
great.
great.
I'm not going to lie. I think that's maybe what I like is it is not my experience, and I can get lost in that bad customer service because they're also really bad customers,
Right.
and I'm not used to that. I'm not used to having somebody just snooty tooty.
Needing a leather-bound library.
Yes. I
Well,
have
we
people
don't
who
have
come
that.
in and just look at me like, can you help me with fill in whatever your need is? And we're like, yeah.
Exactly.
Love to. So I guess it lets me go into a fictional world in my own head.
It is nice.
It
So
is
it's called
nice.
Black Books.
Black books.
Bring out your DVD player.
Bring out the DVD player, dust it off, blow through there, make sure it's emptied
like
out.
a Nintendo.
Yes.
Want to make sure it's
Make sure you've totally done that. Get all that dust out of it.
Right.
If it's in your garage, maybe let it warm up before you plug it in.
Oh my gosh.
That's where mine is. But it is so worth it.
There you go.
I'm hoping that talking about it makes Hoopla go, wait a minute.
We need
They're
to
going
have
to feel
this.
it. They're probably
Yeah.
listening to all of our shows. Hoopla.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they don't have it yet. They do have a lot of, I have to say, Hoopla. I really thought they would because they have so many of the British and Canadian stuff I'm looking for.
I didn't
Right,
know
right.
that.
Yeah, it's really great when you're looking for TV shows or movies from, anywhere, but, and the U.S. I have a ton of U.S. stuff. But it's a great source for me normally. So I was a little surprised they didn't have it. And maybe they rotate some of them. So
Right.
maybe they're just going to rotate it in.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Molly.
You're welcome.
Kadra, what have you been reading lately? Or what's something, because I always say our guests, you have the luxury of choosing
Yes.
anything from any time,
Our guests.
anywhere. Yeah.
Well, I'm not reading anything currently, even
Okay.
though I have so many books.
I
It's all
feel
over my
you.
desk. Books
Piles.
are just
Everywhere.
That is the decoration in
You
my
have
room
the
right
intention.
now.
You
Huh?
have the intention
I
of
do have
reading
the
them.
intention, but
That's
my
all that
problem
matters.
is I have the print book, I have the ebook, and I have
Yes.
the audio book.
Right, right,
and
right.
I just making the time for it. So I really had to think on this one, and I kind of chose a book that I often recommend to people to read, which is called Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo.
Ooh, I don't know this one.
This is the first book of the Six of Crows series. I want to mention that some readers are unsure whether or not to read her other popular title, Shadow of Bones.
Right.
But Six of Crows is a standalone
Oh,
series.
okay.
So it's completely separated, whole different new cast, takes place in a whole different country, so you can read these separately.
Yeah.
So Six of Crows sets place in a city called Ketterdam, which is a hub of where a lot of international trade happens, and it's also home to multiple criminal organizations. The central character of this book is Kaz Brecker, which his nickname is Dirty Hands, since he's known as this ruthless, cunning young criminal prodigy that is willing to do any job no matter the risk for the right price.
Uh-oh.
And there's also a character who's really driven by their thirst of revenge. So, which you'll learn more about as you read the book. So, Kaz is offered an opportunity to do a deadly heist, and if he succeeds, he'll make a lot of money, which sets him for life. However, he realizes that he can't do it alone and that he needs to recruit a crew, which include a thief with a gift for unlikely escapes, a spy known as the Wraith, a sharpshooter who can't walk away from a wager, a runaway with a privileged past, and a Grisha who's using her magic to survive the slum.
Ooh.
Some of them have worked with each other, some have not, but none of them trust each other. Yet the fate of the world is dependent on them in accomplishing this heist if they don't kill each other first.
Right.
So that is the basic book synopsis of Six of Crows without getting too much in detail.
Right.
But overall, this story is incredible. It has great world building. It has great twists and turns and surprises. The characters have such witty and sarcastic banter that they do provide comedic relief during intense moments, which I love. And there's a little bit of romance. So there's a little bit of everything for everyone.
Okay.
I love that.
And in my opinion, I think this is one of the best Leigh Bardugo series that she's ever written. And it has it was a nominee for the Good Reads Awards for Best YA for fantasy and science fiction back in 2015.
Okay.
However, even though this book was written back in 2015, I do see it still popular today with patrons. Sorry.
Yeah.
Had a hiccup with patrons. I see them requesting it on hold and, checking it out. And every time I see one, I'm like, it's so good. I was like, enjoy it and read the next one. It's even better. So I really do highly recommend this book. Fun fact, Shadow of Bone is on Netflix.
Yes.
And
the second season just dropped this week.
It did. I did not know that.
On Thursday.
I need to check that out.
Yeah.
Thank you. I know what I'm doing over this weekend now.
Woo-hoo. Yeah, I know. My husband was real excited too.
I am literally reserving the book as she's talking. So if you heard the sound, my book.
And it's a beautiful cover. It's black pages, which is really nice. So yeah, the Six of Crows are in that series. I just the content that they show for the Six of Crows crew does not relate to the book. They specifically made like a prequel for the show.
Okay.
So no spoilers. So you'll get to meet some of the Six of Crows
neat.
crew. Not all of them, but some of them. And you kind of get to see their demeanor, which is really cool. And I think Leigh Bardugo and the creators of the show and everything did a really great job of picking this cast. But please read it first so you get to imagine.
I know.
I love first. So.
I love the book to movie.
Yes.
I am now really preferring when it doesn't match the book.
Yeah.
Because then I can't compare it.
You can judge them independently.
Yeah.
You can judge them independently. And that'll be good too. So I luckily, had the opportunity to kind of read it when it first came out because I read some of the Shadow of Bone trilogy. And when I saw the trailer of the show and saw who the cast were for Six of Crows, I was like, yes! Because you don't really get that oftentimes. So I was like, and I think they did really a good job. But at the same time, I want to kind of give readers the opportunity to kind of read the book and actually create images in their head of what they think the characters are like. But overall, very great book.
Six of Crows by
Six
Leigh
of
Bardugo.
Crows.
Yes.
Love it.
Well, I'm just going to give like a hot description of my book so that we can get to our commercial break and then talk a little bit more about Labadie and Kadra, the second half of the show. But I'm on the cusp of finishing a book called Cult Classic, and it is by Sloane Crosley. And this is
I love cult classics.
I've heard of this.
Yeah, it's really
I have.
interesting. It's fiction. Sloane Crosley has written a handful of nonfiction books, but this is a fiction work that she's done. And basically, here's the concept: you are a young woman, maybe 20s, 30s. In New York City, you've dated probably 30s. You've dated quite a few different individuals. You're now happily engaged to someone. The magazine where you used to work has folded, but you get together with some of your friends on a regular basis. And one day, while you're having dinner with your friends and you're standing outside having a smoke, you have a former ex come up to you, and it's a chance run, and you haven't seen or thought of this person in forever, but you're like, oh, okay, well, that's neat. The next day, you get together with another friend. She happens to pick the same restaurant, which you're like, oh, I was just there last night. Could we really go anywhere else? And she's like, no, I'm really craving Chinese. And she's like, okay, fine. So they go to that restaurant. Again, another run-in with an ex. How in the world? Finally, the third day in a row, she's just walking in that district to go and meet a friend. Bam, another ex. Like, what is happening? How are all these exes, like, almost magnetized to
Sure,
where
exactly.
she is. Yeah, like is there some sort of like magical
She
realism?
releasing a
No.
scent? That's just
Right.
a
What's
thing.
happening here?
Pheromone,
Yeah.
X-pheromone.
Yes. So finally one day she's like, wow, this is weird. Okay, what's happening? So one of her best friends who used to work at the magazine with her like takes her over to this building that looks like it is an abandoned temple. And so she goes in and it looks, very much just like an abandoned building. And then she goes deeper into it and she sees that it's been completely renovated and there is just a lot of hubbub happening. And her friend and then her other friend, who they both formerly worked at this magazine together, start to explain to her that these chance run-ins are a little less chance than you would think. That maybe they've been manipulated, not by like saying, oh, hey, ex-boyfriend, go to this place at this time, but using data, using ads, using push notifications, using, how many times do you have to see something to be influenced by it? And so they are basically, she finds out that she might be at the very center of an experiment that is drawing these people to her subconsciously through big data manipulation.
Wow.
And then there might be a larger game at play with how this concept can be used for resolution or chance, quote unquote, run-ins with other people, and how she's the test subject of all of this.
Oh.
So it's a lot of
No way that could go bad.
Right. So it's a cool subject, and there's a lot of different directions that you could go with it. It does linger a lot with the main character and her opinions of her ex-lovers, and so it's a lot of like her own like psycho like evaluation of her like past relationships. So it can get really heavy in that. So if you're not in the mood for like a 30-year-old kind of angstily like reliving her dating past, then it might not be the book for you, because it's a little less culty and a little more that.
Yeah.
But it is still a cool concept. So but I'm right on the cusp of finishing. It's called Cult Classic by Sloane Crosley.
I could read that one as well.
I'm listening to it. It's narrated
Yes.
by Sloane, and it's a 7.5 or 8.5 hour
Oh, that's
book.
not bad. That's
So
a nice average.
yeah, it's a very, very short listen. So yeah, it'll be a good one. So okay, we're going to go to a break, and on the other side, we'll come back and talk to our new circulation supervisor at the Liberty branch, Miss Kadra Ahmed. Welcome back. We are so happy to be here today with our new circulation supervisor of the Liberty branch library, Miss Kadra Ahmed. Welcome to the studio today.
Thank you. This is exciting.
Yes.
I know.
Yes,
I
we're
can cross this off my bucket list. Being
Yes.
on
Yes.
the radio,
radio
I
superstars.
Yes.
Well, you're doing great. You're doing
Thank you.
fabulous. So how are things going at Liberty? What's happening this past week? We had Luke on last
Yes.
week. So what's been happening in the last 7 days?
Things have been going great.
Yeah.
My team has been doing awesome, kind of getting our circulation.
You have an
desk ready.
amazing team.
They have been phenomenal. I don't
Yeah.
know what I could have done without them. They have been such a great resource and providing me amazing assistance with getting things ready for Liberty. So we've kind of been getting our circulation desks ready with the library card applications.
Right.
We are getting other stuff ready, Libby and our wireless printing information, all that kind of resources that patrons kind of come in and kind of need to ask for. I've also have been busy training some new staff who will be joining Liberty.
You have been. You've been very busy.
Yes, so they'll be joining Liberty, and they've been doing great as well and been picking up things very fast.
Yeah.
Right now, I think we're almost kind of done scanning all our items into our Elite catalog.
Yeah.
So once we're
Sweet.
ready to go live on March 27th, patrons will be able to check some items out and
Right.
put some requests in. So
That's the fun behind the scenes thing that I
Yeah.
think a lot of the public don't know, how a library becomes a library is, we talked about the trucks that had the boxes delivered and 60,000 books, and so it's unpacking those books. It's shelving them because they were not packed in any sort of particular alphabetical order.
Kind of an
They
order.
did their best.
They did somewhat of
Right,
a
right.
ordered
Good
job.
job.
I
Yeah.
think we actually unpacked one of their employees' keys at one point too.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yes, their keys, and I think
We
like
had to
their
send it back. We
Yeah.
also got like a box for a different library, and so
Oh,
yeah,
that's funny.
Uh-huh.
it was great.
I mean, we unboxed all sorts of stuff. No chocolate, though.
Yeah. No
I need to
chocolate.
put in a complaint.
And no
each
live
other.
animals, so
No.
that's good too.
No,
Well,
I mean, I would have enjoyed that
It
one.
depends on the type
I mean,
of live
if it was
animal.
a cat,
Oops, guys, we have a library cat now.
it's our cat now.
we're adopting it, but we do have some Canadian geese though lately that love to be walking around.
No, make sure they stay near the lake. I will make sure they don't come near.
I know you're not a big
I've
geese
had
fan.
some geese issues in my. Man, I am negative this time. No St. Patrick's Day, no geese.
Yes, we do have 2 geese I
Uh-huh.
like to have been seeing lately around Liberty. They haven't bothered me as much, even though we've had some close encounters. We've
Yeah.
been
Oh, I
good.
keep my eyes on them. I walk around and just point at
Yeah.
my eyes and then point at them like, I'm watching you too. I'm watching you.
Well,
Yes.
and then so we've got all the books that your staff has done an amazing job. After they're on the shelves, they had to check them in then.
Yes.
So they've been doing that. And then I was looking, one of the main jobs that your staff is going to be doing those first 2 months is just getting people library cards.
Yes.
When we opened our Orange branch, I think I sent you the statistic. Do you remember how many library cards in 2 months?
It was about 5,000, I
Yeah.
believe.
The day I started, people were like, when you open the new library, make sure you have cards. We ran out. We didn't have enough cards when we opened. And I think it's like the first thing I said to you,
Yes.
Nicole, is, will
We
you
need
make
library
sure we
card
have all the
cards.
cards? Like all the cards.
5,000 cards.
5,000 cards
Yes.
that in 2 months.
All that
was
amazing type
done.
of thing.
But we are ready, though. We have been practicing making some library cards and stuff like that. So
And do we have some interesting cards or something? No, not today. Okay. Well, they're going to be awesome cards, though, because they're Delaware County District Library
Exactly.
cards.
You can only get 1 key tag. You get 2 key
You
tags.
get 2 key tags?
You get 2 key tags.
Man.
That is the super interesting.
That is actually, I'm just sitting here like, I would really like that second key tag. Because then I could give it to Lloyd and be like, I need you to check a book out for me. And he can just
Exactly.
scan it in Grandview.
And pick it up for you. Yeah.
Share it with your family.
Gonna need that
And we're going to have
second
a
one.
nice drive-through curbside,
That's
too.
right. That's going to be your whole department as well.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
going to be a busy lady. Kadra, we've been so chatty this morning that we are like rapidly running to the end of
Are
our
we?
time,
Oh my
which
gosh.
is amazing.
I feel like Kadra should be one of our backups. You just are good at
But
talking
yeah.
Thank you.
with us.
I think we definitely need to have you on again. What it comes down to is come to Liberty and see Kadra when we have our grand opening
She's
on the
awesome.
26th. Check out books on the 27th and get a library card
Yes.
Yes,
from her
please do.
team in the meantime. But,
It'll come with a smile.
It
I
will
can
come
promise
with a smile.
that.
Yes,
Yeah.
it definitely will.
all right.
We'll
Well,
be
we
on
got to wrap it up today, ladies. This was fun. Gage, always a pleasure.
Of course.
Thank you for running the board for us. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Thank you, Molly.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
Wear green. If you were still at your house, make sure you're
Put on
wearing
your green.
green.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone.
Thank you, Kadra. All right. And until next week, we'll see you in the stacks.